And this research highlights the strong contrast between the enthusiasm of the Gaoshan for dance during performances and the alienation from dance in daily life. The cultural performance mainly focused on Gaoshan ethnic dance and are representative of multiple relationships such as politics, economy, kinship, livelihood, aesthetics, body, and etc. This research has found that the meanings and relationships invented or expressed by different forces in dance at various notes become a prerequisite for the next production of meaning rather than a negative object. So it is a reflection of the exchanging and integrating communication among people of all ethnic groups, and it strengthens the sense of community for the Chinese nation. So our speaker here today is Miss Lin, Miss Yu Xianglin. She is a PhD candidate from Zhejiang University from China in the studies of social anthropology. She cooperates with the ICRS to carry out the doctoral program. And in the past few years, Ms. Lin focused on the cultural development of an ethnic group in the Southeast China, especially the dancing performance. And she has used the holistic perspective to see how different agencies make the performance as a character of local society, not just of an ethnic group. So without any further ado, please welcome Ms. Lin.
I'll just it's okay if you just start with this.
Okay, thank you.
You can use that or.
Thank you all of you to invite me here to share my last program. My program is about one ethnic group in China. Before the talk, I want to share you some videos to see how this is the ethnic group of Gaoshan. Yeah. I wanted to show you two videos, and one is from mainland China, and the other one is actually from the Taiwan. So maybe you will see something different and similarities. Okay, this is.
Ako ayaw kami ini upanay, ini kupunga, ini putari, ini putamura, ini hokaijan, Ya, kamu kalah. Payah kami dahul. Pemiling lawan, orang
拉
pintar.
手当成
一直
广场
守护着
舞在跳。
留
我们的拉手舞
在
现在在学
友谊中的
校里面被推广为课间操，跳的拉手舞大部分都是年轻人，有小孩。
Terima kasih.
Ayaw, ayaw, atuh. Atuh tubok no kakunya, roh no. Itao, yensumin, kalimpo. Ani ada dayaan. Itini kami Dosin utuba mitika to sa kapulungan na ilisin no yensumin no kalingko. Sa miaray kami to di patsinalan, ni paulatan na mo tuas sa kapat char no pinalumanyam, fan char ko pilitong no niyam. Itini kami, patuaya kami anene. Ini ko panay, ini ko kunga, ini ko tali, ini ko tamurak, ini ko icap. Ya, kamu tuas, ko ayaw amin naol. Tumiling alawan, awa tulimat satan. Ila kamu tuas. Mitiga to kita ilisin ukari ko. Kita kumpo pinaulan. Ila ka pa! Ho ho ya ye ha ho ye ha ye ye ha ye
Okay, just short videos.
Going to broadcast to list.
Sorry.
Yeah, I want to show you these two similarity videos, and this group is from
Mungkin yang satunya. I think it better.
okay. So okay, sorry for today. These two videos they actually they come from different places, and the one is in the west in Fujian province. Actually, Fujian is in Bahasa Hokkien. So many in the region also come from this province. Yeah. So the other one is from Taiwan. So let's see, they just very similar and dance. They only call it hand-in-hand dance, but yes, actually the development is very different. But now I'm just not to discuss about why they different, but to focus on the next one, why they develop like this style so similar to Taiwanese. Yeah, and this is my contents today. I will show you four parts of contents, and yeah, maybe the part one is to see where is my field site, and yeah, the red one is the Hokkien province, and in the across the street, this is the Taiwan Island. So, but my field is in the south of the province, Fujian province, the left side because county. So in ministry level in China, actually we specify the province, the city, and the county, the town, and the village. So yeah, this is the third level to show the people group in here. So actually in national ethnic affairs commission of the Society of China, and also see in the many information this place is the county with the highest concentration of Gaoshan people in mainland China. Actually, they was only 128%. Yeah, so I will show you the variety of the dance. Actually, they until now they develop different styles like the handstand dance, like welcome dance, the bamboo dance, and so on. And until these several years, and they also create the meaning dance and warrior dance and the arrow dance. So like these dances, also many used to perform for the tourists. Yeah, and also have different contexts. Like in the regional local societies, they were the school, military school or high school. They would use this dance to education to teach children or students to protect our culture. But they also in this picture, they also attend national traditional games of ethnic minority. Actually, it's very special national games because it's only for ethnic minority. Actually, we have 55 minorities in China. So in this Asian game, this national game, it's different from the Asian games like Asian games now just have in China now. It's not. They have like the dance and many performance and the sports techniques and so on. So it's not like the running or swimming like that. So they also can dance in these games. And the third thing is like for tourism. As you see just the videos before, they can dance in like this in mythical tourist attraction, and because every year and the local government develop the different sites and image these sites to make good for tourism. So they also can hire these people to dance here. And some things like many officials would visit this village or visit this county to see how what they are doing now and the development. So in every year they have many times to for the dance for the administrative business. Yes. It's not only like this. I just give the examples for the dance in different contexts. So one key point is maybe for Indonesian people could not very understand what is the Gaoshan people or what is the Gaoshan tea. Because actually Gaoshan means high mountain. It just not have very many meanings, but the food is important because it's a Chinese word and it's official notion prescribed by Chinese government, and it's both to in Chinese academic scholars they still discuss or controversy about is how can we translate blue into ethnic group or like the different notions, because it's not very similar to the ethnic group because it's a political identity. So, like the Gaoshan group, it was an ethnic group considered minorities in Taiwan, and the proportion of them lived in mainland China. The Chinese government formally recognized Gaoshan group as an official ethnic designation, categorizing it among the 55 official recognized ethnic minorities. So the group is the like official name or the kind of national identity to classify the different people in a nation. So nowadays we have the 56 ethnic group, but I was teaching of different notions like mini group. It means the third one. Mini group means ethnic group. So we have 56, but actually the minority we have 55, and except that we have one majority, like it's the Han people. So the Han people now in China we are about 90%. So everyone will show up the SIM card or AIP or the SIM card, and yeah, we also have the name of the ethnic compositions. Like maybe in Malaysia, everyone has the religion like that. Yeah. So but above that, we also have Hua'an Fujian as a whole Chinese nation according to one state. So like the Chinese word, and maybe it's not very attached to the English concept, but we still discuss about that. But after that, I want to show some the national background since our establishment of PRC, because the ethnic group policy is happened since the establishment. One is the very important, like the ethnic classification work, because it's things list after the establishment of the PRC, and our government asked everyone to register the ethnic compositions as our Chinese citizen. Actually, in during the after that, and we have some events. After since the 1980s, after we reform and opening up again, and the government also allowed people to verify and register their citizen, the ethnic composition again. But actually, this work, official work, actually finished in 1987. So the Chinese government announced we officially have 55 ethnic minority. We cannot add one or new again since 1987. Yeah, this is the name of all the 56 ethnic group, the distribution. Yeah, and the Gaoshan group, actually they are distributed in the Taiwan Island, and I just want to see how the whole distribution of different ethnic group. Yeah, the next national background is about the professional pre-perfection policy of minority, because until now it has worked in different ministry. So ethnic group people, and they have priority to get the educational rights or reproductive rights, because at the time the Han people only have one child policy, but they ethnic group, if they ethnic minorities, they maybe can have two child. Yeah, and they also have more job opportunity and can attend the political participation and so on. So like this picture, and also we see in the videos, this is called the stockaded village. It's very characteristic. So like this in China, maybe have thousands of like this, and it's built since 2008. Yeah. So what's the indigenous people in Taiwan? It's really different actually, because in mainland China, the Chinese government call these people also it's only one group called Gaoshan, but the Taiwan authority they classify these people into 16 ethnic groups now, but still have some groups and cannot haven't been classified. So like in Wikipedia said, there's 16 ethnic groups recognized by the Taiwan authority, and many have 586,000 people, still constituting 2.5% of Taiwan's population. Yeah, so actually we don't use like indigenous people to name in China, because actually because indigenous have some meanings about the degradation to the land, but in China, since the establishment, we have the land reformation. So the classification of two ethnic group, it's not related to the land. Yeah, so it's the different thing in this. My main questions about below, like the three main questions, is who and what's the situation of these people now, and what's the relation to people in Taiwan Island. And I will show you the process of the adaptation to this county of the people, because actually they are immigrants, because since the World War II, they immigrate from Taiwan Island to mainland China. So they are, most of them are soldiers, and also some are businessmen. And after the war, and the government want to distribute these people to different provinces, and most of them went to Fujian province, because it's very close to Taiwan. Yeah, and also have similar cultures. These people went to this county since the 1960s. And also at the time, because we are also has a land controversy between two authorities. So at the time, they gradually alienation with the Thai families. They cannot go back to hometown. So the first generation actually come to this county just only 9%, and most of them are male soldiers. And at that time, they have to intermarry with local people, actually called Han people. And they also keep the habits to have dancing and singing, especially in festivals. But the things it's different because of the young generations. Since the second generation until now, they cannot speak the Malay language and no dancing. Actually, no dancing, no singing, no gathering, and don't know the meaning. Yeah, because they have to learn the local culture and live in the society. But actually, since the 1980s, they have the chance to connection with across the street to seek the relatives from Taiwan. But it just connection, but not something happens, not something special happens. And now, since the 2023 this year, and the household registration shows there's 15 families in this county, and the amount of the number is 128. So my question is, how did this group dance again? Because actually, since the second generation, they know dancing and know singing. Yeah. Okay. Actually, the learning or the chance of learning dance is very different, because many things in 1990s, because the whole Chinese societies with developed economy, especially in the like the Guangdong province, Fujian province, and so on, they have chances to go to another province to for tourism. Actually, they came to like this place called China Folk Cultural Villages. It's a scenic spot very near to Hong Kong, and this company is also the boss is maybe not seems also from Hong Kong, and in the site, and they can learn the dance and taught by the dance teacher. And after that, they came back to hometown. And actually, in the time, the local society also developed an economy. So they also developed the tourism and to ask these people to perform in like the cultural park. So at the time, they can learn how to dance again. So they also taught by the dance teacher. But this teacher is not the Gaoshan people. It's Han people. And the interesting thing is this teacher is from kindergarten. Yeah, because they can take a dance teacher there at the time. So after since the 21st century, they also attend the national tradition games. Yeah, and at the time they also training by the coaches. The coach also teach them the dance and other techniques. So these years they also have many connection with the Taiwan, especially like the unofficial like the group. They have more chances to learn dance from the Taiwan art topic. So, but this time, the dance teacher is the indigenous people. So they would feel more sensitive or the ancient or historical like the dance. Yeah, but the contrasting is that all the dance they learn, they did not inherit the dance from the first generation. So my question is, what's the Gaoshan dance and what meanings does it conveys? This is also my analyze after this process, and because they actually attend different events since the 1990s from until now. So they have like different places and different levels, like the national levels and local levels. So every time, like every Denmark event, the discourse about the event is different, especially the dancing meaning. So, like in the before, before and the 1999. They attend like a cultural park. It's just this dance want to just show the dance meanings, like it's the distinctiveness. It's not like the Han people. They just want to then mark our characteristic or cultures. Yeah. After that, and they government help to them to build the houses or build the villages and so on. So like this process, the dance discourse about that is mainly about the development. And also the dance teacher taught them how to dance, but this discourse just show the aesthetic. And since the 2008, the hunting and the dance is on the list of intangible cultural heritage. But this the official document shows to explain why this hunting and dance on the list of in the heritage, because this dance is very primitive and ancient. But in when they attend national traditional games, they just want to develop the dance, have some sports element. So this course just mainly focus about the sports. But when they interact with the Taiwan indigenous people, they feel their dances are more orthodox and original state and rustic. So it seems changes different time. So, yeah. So after that, with the influence, I think I want to show the two main things. The one is the perceiving authenticity, because when they found the Taiwan indigenous people, they just greatly compared to each other, and they developed the view that these indigenous people possess a more ancient history and more ritual culture, and regards them as the subjects for study and imitation and pursuit. And the other things, they also regard them as representatives as an authentic culture. And the display of the genuine and ancient characteristics, think that the true and distinctive source of cultural existing. But the other thing is different, because they use this authenticity to compete with another ethnic group. The ethnic group called Shezu. It also has two villages in this Hua'an County. So when they perform the dances in the same event, they just think the Shezu or dance just over theoretical and commercialized, but they just feel their performance from daily life and representing both authenticity and primal essence. So in this part, I want to argue like these meanings of authenticity can undergo transformation within interactions of different groups, while also continuously absorbing the additional elements to magnify the culturally have distinctiveness. So this also serves to distinguish differences between the inter-ethnic group and inter-ethnic context, also highlighting the similarities at the same time, also highlight the differences with different others to maintain their own uniqueness. Yeah, there's the latest news just several days ago, and one of my interviewers just showed me they have an event in recently, and they called the Coast Street Chinese Farmers Harvest Festival. So like in this, they use the farmers, not like the ethnic group like that. And also, they borrow a new building to use for education base, and because these years, our government also highlight the ideologies named consolidating the sense of community for the Chinese nation. So at the time, since 2020, we cannot use one single name of ethnic group to show in the title. So it's better for us scholars to publish an article. So that's why in the premium version, my poster didn't show any name of the ethnic group. Yeah, we just we can use Chinese nation, and we can talk the place, the villages, but we cannot use the single name. Yeah. Well, so as my in conclusion, I think I just choose three parts. The one part is the dance as a cultural performance, because this group is very small. Actually, in mainland China, they just only in mainland China just maybe have 4,000 people in different different provinces. But until now they just develop the one main characteristic as their culture, or the culture like Buddha, like this. So they use this to perform for a different different contest. So like this, the cultural performance also centered around the dance. Emerges under the influence of various forces like the local government and the teacher and social media, or the schools and the ethnic group and the Gaoshan people. So they assumed this distinct significance within the diverse context. However, these meanings do not arise simultaneously, but they gradually accommodate and blend throughout the process of cultural performance across different time. So after that, as a result, with each subsequent cultural performance, these people simultaneously articulate all the meanings, the connecting various aspects and levels of relationships, such as ethnicity, locality, economic, culture, and education. So such a process transforms cultural performance itself, like consisted into a total social phenomenon, just illustrating the operational process of the society. And I want to use this case study to respond in the Danish theory, especially in ethnic group studies, because now in China, at least we have three models to discuss about, to research about ethnic group, but most of them want to deconstruct the Chinese political identity. What is the famous identity theory? Because in this discussion, many scholars want to distinguish the national identity and ethnic identity. Actually, the identity is very hard to translate into Chinese because in Chinese this identity has two different meanings. One is the political levels, and the other is from the cultural or the sense of belonging of we are the same group. So it's very different levels. So this theory also, like the scholars, they want to presume there is no uniform concept of group. So yes, so this like only to this notion just gradually become a very political or critical one. Yeah, but this shortcoming, I think they utilize the cultural identity to deconstruct the political one, endowing the ethnic culture with an excess of autonomy and austerity. And the second theory, it's the invention of tradition. So yes, in this case studies, in this case, we also see their dance always invented again and borrow from different people and from different places. But actually, it really happened. And this theory, the opinions of actually we exist in the cultures of the results of invention. So, but I think the shortcoming is they also assume the existence of uninvented, especially authentic tradition. But I think it's not enough because it's reality. We should consider how the tradition is generated and its consequences, how to establish. Yeah, and the third thing is about the discussion about the relation to nation and society. Because this opinion, they think these two nation and society are categorized by the resistance and adversarial relations. But this shortcoming, if we use this theory to explain like this case, it's also not enough because like this theory, they came to political correctness and also precondition of binary opposition between the nation and ethnicity. So they begin to want to questioning the authority, especially the state authority. And I'm not to invent a new theory. I just want to change my perspective to see how like this the dance and the social phenomenon happen. So I use the holism to see the culture as the cultural performance. This concept from Marshall Knowles in his work called The Gift. And it uses the total social phenomenon to see our societies, which one or which the things make a representation to our like humanity and so on. So this total social phenomenon represents the relational holism perspective, where underlying ontology emphasize these different modes of existence are no longer regarded as distinct entities, but rather as different types of relational entities. So in this sense, a specific societal whole cannot be understood as overlap multiple relational and the whole and phenomenon refers as the implication. So yes, it seems abstract, but I want to show because like this the dance will also be from since the 1990s from until now, and because when they attend different Denmark the event, they also have different discourses, and these discourses is not contrary or just contrary to each other, and they just can make the relation to different times and accumulation their cultural meanings. So they until now their dances like seems very diversity or very richful. Yeah. So this is the one thing I want to explain. And the other one is how about the meanings of the cultural performance. Actually, not in this ethnic group, not ethnic group, because this ethnic group is very small. But in mainland China, we have 55 ethnic group. So different scholars, they just only focus one ethnic group, and we in mainland China we have 5 or 8 universities, especially for ethnic group people. Yeah, so this is a very big work and so big social plan in China. Yeah, so it's not only the dance, because also have very different heritage like the singing or any technique. So we call like this like just can call this as a cultural performance. But in this case, because they too small and their history is not very long, so they just only focus the dance. Yeah. So the meaning I want to not to compare, just to want to show how in general the general society or in general China, we still have in different places, we still have the cultural performance in the region of the ethnic group. So the meaning of the cultural performance in local society, it's just not about the ethnic group people themselves. It just connected to various aspects like the economy, the political, the culture, and so on. And when we see how the society works for different group of people, like the children, the students, or the common people, or the workers, and so on. So as a result, like different agencies, including the local government, the Gaoshan people, they gradually emphasize their rationality and sophistication of the performance, and they become more professional. So, and also they leverage their respective capacities to engage, gradually inventing and updating the contents of the performance. They also ensuring that they contributed to regional development, public culture, the tourism, and village infrastructure development, and also the cross-regional exchanges. So from a micro perspective, The cultural performance involving ethnic minority have been closely tied to a set of the national development trends in China, especially since the 1980s, the reforming opening up and encompassing the ignoring the cultural, ethnic, and the historical dimensions. Okay, that's my presentation today. And yeah, thank you for all of you listening. Terima kasih banyak.
Interesting presentation. Okay, first three questions or comments? Comments, or maybe this is like the first time you see the dance, the first time. Jim, you want to ask question?
Yeah, we maybe just share the experience in Indonesia. So it's okay.
Yeah. Questions? Comments? Okay, partners first, please.
So thank you very much. I'm interested in how the government in Beijing influence this kind of cultural subculture. I mean, to give Indonesian and Malaysian parallel, very often in Indonesia and also in Malaysia, the government failed to recognize that indigenous people have political rights. They can express their views different from government about land, or about forest, or about nature. But then they want cultural performance for tourism. Understand? So politically, they want to suppress them, but economically, they want them to come up.
Yeah.
I wonder about this perspective in your case study.
Yeah, well, I think it is a very common phenomenon in the world, actually. But like your the example, I think it's more like this area, this area Mongolia, because they have across the country or the boundaries of different countries, and just as for me, I think your example is similar like this. Yeah, and it's still now have some puzzles. I would just want to say that. But in these areas, because we also have another one, is just the land controversy. It's not like different in official the government. They just say, it's the land belongs to us, so we don't have any controversy to talking about the land and talking about different state or countries. Yeah. So, but the different thing is we also have another ministry. Especially for this island. Yeah. So this work is not like the current affairs office. Yeah. So, but in the ethnic group, the conference, I think in the ethnic group, ethnic minority conference, they classify people as the 56 minorities. So one of these also belongs to us. But if we use the current affairs the classification, and this it's about the whole islands. So sometimes the work from different part of different ministry. It's not have different affairs. So and sometimes, like I show you in the latest one, this nowadays, and this is also we can also call the Chinese nation. And about this, we show them we cannot very strong highlight our ethnic group. So and this also in the Taiwan island, we also call this all the Taiwan people. We call the Taibao. It's a very official name. So like these people, it's have two national identity. Yeah. So now these affairs, the Taiwan affairs and the minority affairs, they gradually combined, and to have some the events or activities in these places, but they still want to try their best. Yeah. And as we see, we also hold the different activities in these places since after the COVID-19. Because during my field work is before the COVID-19, since 2017 and to 2019. So during these 3 years, and they have no tourism, so they have to go outside to find job. And now they come back again to also the dance again. So this is also very it's on the happening. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. What you mean? Yeah. Okay. Any other questions? Okay, Revan and Reza. Revan first. Wah, ini nih. Ini dia.
Thank you for your presentations. I'm very fine. I just want to know about your methodology or how the way you doing your research. Did you do it by forcing into the performance, to the dance, or did you observe from the outside as researchers? It's first.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. So how do I do the field work? Yeah, actually, as we see in the videos, and I live in this I live in these villages, especially in these villages, and at the time they don't go outside, so I have the chance to live with them. And when they have to dance, I just join to take picture for them. Yeah. So actually, their dance is not difficult. Yeah, it's just it's not professional. So I'm not joined with them because I want to take the pictures as my research resources. So also to watch them how they learn, how they to absorb what the teachers say, and how to present in different events. Because sometimes when the officials come, they have to very serious, and sometimes if the tourist people come, maybe they have different attitude or different performance. Yeah, so it's I like the performance. I just on the present to see how they do and what can I do for them, just to like be a assistant. Yeah. And the second one is their history. Actually, they don't know so much about them. Because I went to find some profiles in the archives in the local the county. So I just want to know how the generation and the first generation, why they have before the establishment of China. So why they have earned their as ethnic identity, because this is a very as a historical history, because at the same time before since the 1945, the government also have in Taiwan Island, because at the time the Taiwan Islands have also controlled by the KMT, another authority. They have classified people, so they also because they are soldiers, they have to have the soldier citizens. So they continued their identity after before the establishment of China. So it's a list of information I just found in the archives. So it's not just from our real life. So I think just to use whatever I know to find the information, because for me it's not because they are all in the same county. So we can go to the county the government to ask for help or to find, especially the archives, because the archives is open to everyone. Yeah, we can also find the information on the internet or the university libraries like that. So different the information just gradually constitute one to the research questions. Yeah, that's why I also went to Taiwan Island, because at the time, just I have happened to transit to meet my roommate, and that time I also saw the cultural performance from the indigenous people. So I want to just give me a chance to see the difference and different contexts, especially different places. Yeah, so I think maybe so fortunate to find this information, and so I think if you want to find or if you want to know, you can go, and it will happen. Terima kasih.
Okay. Thank you. Reza. Aduh, mantap.
Yeah, thank you very much for your presentation. I really enjoyed it. My name is Reza. Why I enjoyed it? Because someone told me my great-great-grandfather came from Fujian.
Oh, aduh.
Somehow I contacted someone to see. But can we move the slide to
This
where you
come from?
divide the case where the years.
The years about what?
On the dance formation.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. I see that the formation of these dance is very related to what you call as the agency of many different agencies in China. I then remember, and then I found some parallel to Indonesian politics of religion. When you say that Indonesian people have agama in their KTP, but Chinese people, they have ethnicities instead. And then I
think it's kind of sad.
yeah, it's very similar.
Similar, yeah.
I became suspicious
where I say, maybe that is how the Chinese people, Chinese government, I think, govern their people. This the development of this core become yeah, you can say relationally formed, invented tradition. I then remember how the Christians here in Indonesia also invent the tradition of saying shalom. Because the majority, the Muslims, they have their greetings, Assalamualaikum Waalaikumsalam, and then the Christian somehow they want to have that kind of greetings too, and then they say shalom. Indonesia. But then what I want to ask is some people, some Christians here, do not want to use their greetings because they think, we think, I also included, that I don't want to be defined by other people's agency. So because this kind of relation subvert or undermine my agency. So because I have to react to your Assalamualaikum, my agency is diminished because I then have to have a greeting also by saying shalom. I am Christian. Do some people have this kind of reaction to this dance performance? Because if we see also the dance is, I enjoy seeing the dance. I enjoy if it is performed here, but we can see that it is very like it's formed like a ceremony. High ceremony instead of a people celebration together. So, is there any kind of that kind of reaction from either the people or from other academics?
Yeah, I think it is because actually they in this county just only have 50 families and 100, like what more, just no more 200 people. They live different villages, and in daily time they don't gathering or they just because this dance they know each other. So if no dance or no performance, they just do what they want and find a job. Yeah. So most of them are relatives. Most of them are friends. And you see in this team, the dancing team, it's not all the ethnic group, not the Gaoshan people. And since they also have their neighbors, Han people, and also have the Sher people, because not enough people can dance because they actually their really job different, like the farmers, they plant the tree, tea trees. Sorry, they just do anything like the middle school teachers. Yeah, and they maybe have a stores or a shop, so they not professional. So they most of them, even though they have 1,100 people, but they can't see enough person to join this dance. So have to seek like 100 people to join dance. Yeah. So actually, we don't see the grouping phenomenon. before that. So in this process, the grouping is happening. Yeah. So yeah, you as you see, you also think the different people have different opinions. It's true. Yeah. But how instance to effect like this performance, I think the most active one, someone especially in this dancing. So maybe they have more because they actually they more active and they can perform and they have more the discourse to spread his opinions like that. But actually they not officials. So yeah, they just want to, actually it's very economic logic, because they want to use the dancing performance to have a good living and earn money. Yeah. So, yeah. So as for the political participation and the rise of like political or anything, I think it's not the main point. Yeah. But yeah, it still happen. It's simultaneously happening. Yeah. So if we want to compare different people or different attitude about this dancing performance, I think it's another issue, and I have to we used to use different methods to research methods to see why they don't wanna join this dance, or they very active to join this dance. Yeah. Thank you.
One more question? Okay.
Thank you very much for the opportunity. How do I start this? The way I saw the dance like maintenance, because it's my very understanding from Fujian, and I try to show a picture, show the poster of the Fujian, and I research about the Gaoshan people. I saw many people similar with my ancestors, who's like our culture, many things. And then I also remember about the urge of Chinese government to, unify everything. In the film Hero from Yang Simao and Jet Li, do you remember that kind of movie called Hero by Jet Li? Talk about the Xiguangdi try to unify the China, and like same like people from government of China now, like try to make China as one big family, all under the heaven. The Tianxia.
Tianxia is it's the dynastical very civilization concept. It's from the royal dynasty. Yeah.
And then I saw the similar attempt from the people, from the government of China. They try to unify Tibet, Taiwan, Hong Kong into one big nation under the Chinese name. It's kind of a political, actually controversial. And in the other side of the strike, not Fujian, but in Taiwan, people, the government from Taiwan, the Taiwan government, try to emphasizing on their Austronesian roots. Like Reza said, it's our ancestor, like the roots of Austronesian, and then by doing so, I think they try to undermine the key argument by the Chinese leader to justify the unification. They, strengthening the Austronesian roots by saying that we have more Austronesian roots rather than Han. And then it is true that many indigenous people in Taiwan also, they have spirit like, now we need to cling to our river, to our indigenous roots, in order to face the sea, in order to face the international, in order to face the mainland that cross the sea. I mean, like, I saw that indigenous people here, indigenous tradition, in some level they become commodity for the political community, but in the other hand, they use that kind of commodity to strengthen themselves, to strengthen their identity. So what I saw in Fujian is the different way.
Yeah.
Chinese government try to use this kind of indigenous to counter what Taiwan did. So I saw this kind of, this discourse war of the discourse between two indigenous people. So what I want to ask is, how do the indigenous people in Fujian and also in Taiwan, how do they relate themselves? I mean, it's like we separating one big family of indigenous people, if I may say so, into, this kind of
phenomenon.
or something. But yeah, but it's just my, every and I know this version is talking about this in China, but yeah, I just wondering.
Yeah, I think, yeah. So how to answer, because you mentioned too many questions. Yeah, and different issues, actually different issues. Because you mentioned the Tianxia, it's now actually the research of the Tianxia and talking about this usually is historian, yeah, because this word and this notion is very historical, and anthropologists they seem to very frequently use this word because it's too microwaves. Yeah. This is one thing. And the other things about indigenous people, because to different places like mainland China and the Taiwan authority, they use the different classification to classify people. So in mainland China, we don't use the indigenous. This is one thing why still now in official document or the official internet the news, it's if we use like indigenous people in China, it's not political correctness. Yeah, it's on the, but it's not the academic, the research, academic notions. And yeah, it's still because after the establishment, we still actually in mainland China, the scholars, when they classify do the ethnic minority work, they also discuss about that Gaoshan it's one ethnic group, or can we classify more branches into like more ethnic group? But because at the time the researchers cannot go to this island to do the research, so this is to keep the stock until now. So the official announcement in since 1987, it's done. This work is done. So we just only use this notion to call this group. Actually, if we use in academic thinking, it's just only the category and not the one group and share the same identity, share the same culture, share the same the traditions. Also in like Mongolia or any the big ethnic group, it's the same because we can find one unique link among the whole group. This is one thing. And how about the interaction from different people? Yeah, it's actually now the indigenous people in this island, they also called the Australian missions. Yeah, and actually different scholars, they just want to argument what's the origins. It's really from this island or the archipelago in Pacific or any others. But this just these years, these 3 years, and the Chinese Chinese scientists, they use the ancient DNA to see want to find how in south of China, in south of China Sea, and like the Philippines, like these people, they are come from. They use like ancient DNA technology to examine their origins. So they just have the opinions. So like this, also have the Pacific Islands. They also have related to the early southern coastal people in China. It means like in the southeast of China. But this is just the scientific one. But if someone will use into a political one, maybe. And yeah, so it's because if we were using the academic discussion, it's it's a new attitude or new opinion to see how these people come from, and also another thing use the linguistic about, and these two scientists also see they date the time from the 1300 BC. Yeah, maybe 8,000 years ago. So the time is very long ago, and they just using the ancient DNA technology to see the microwaves the people to immigrate from the north to the south. Yeah, I just want to show the academic paper, but yeah, it's because actually in Chinese scholars, they seldom talking about the Austronesian people. One is they have no information, and the other ones, they have no materials to examine or to do the lecture. But now we have the DNA technology and can find some new opinions. I think, it's need to discussion to talking about why, how we can questions and how we can find the academic issues from this phenomenon. Because if you use this information, it maybe just in archaeologists or the not anthropologists, because many anthropologists will focus on the culture. It's not very far. Yeah. So, but if the anthropologists want to use these materials, maybe they can, the issues may be talking about the civilization or the language or anything. So it's quite different from like I talking about today. Yeah, and the other things about the indigenous identity. Yeah, because also in academic research, the subjectivity of their identity, and it's very different from the national or the governments they give them. So it's also the same, but it's still we still to need to talking about or discuss about this, because if we want to ask this question or want to see this contrary different contrary the phenomenon, maybe we questions another another way to see why this, because maybe they have some issues or controversy with the local governments, like things like that. So so your questions include so different details. So maybe I just want to answer the theories. Thank you so much.
So we're already come to the end of our discussion, but before I would like to announce for okay. So we would like to announce for the next Wednesday forum. We're going to have Professor Michael Norcott next week. We're talking about black and white science from the Netflix analytic planets. So you don't want to miss this. So please be here. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Very much.
See.
And see the commonality between Taiwan and the mainland.
Yeah.
Because it's against all the American propaganda, which I don't believe.
Thank you so much.
So thank you so much for your fruitful discussion. But before we have gifts that will be delivered by Mas.
How yeah.
Here is the certificate for you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Oh I so like this poster. Thank you so much.
Thank you. For your research.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks so much, guys. See you next week.